initial landfall is in the process of happening. The winds and the rain that is falling will continue for what could be another 12 to 18 hours.
I recently heard the phrase climate gentrification. But what is it? I'm travelling to Harvard University as a Category 4 hurricane hits the east coast of the country.
All residents within 1 mile of the...
I want to learn about the destabilising impact of climate change on property markets.
As the city's communications, the worst is yet to come.
I've arranged to meet Jesse Keenan, the Harvard University professor who coined this term.
Welcome to Cambridge.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Very good to meet you.
Gentrification in this context speaks to the displacement functions, the idea of disruptions of the stabilization of equilibriums in markets.
As water levels rise, there are some coastal areas where people can only live if they have higher incomes, so they can afford the costs of flood protection and insurance.
New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, those that moved into New Orleans were much wealthier than those who lived there prior to the storm. And what you see is a gradual depopulation in many of these areas, but that population that still resides is becoming wealthier and wealthier, becomes more and more exclusive.
Climate gentrification can happen inland too. Professor Keenan found that property on high ground is going up in price faster as people move away from low-lying areas to avoid flood risks.
There's empirical research that suggests that these challenges are happening across both coasts of the United States as well as really across the world. We're seeing that discounting behavior happening, again, somewhere between a 7 to 10% discount.
In towns like Scituate, south of Boston, lower-income households may be forced to move away from the coast due to the rising costs of insurance and property taxes, rent and repairs. Public finances in affected areas could suffer because of the shrinking tax base.
The property tax rolls are slowly but surely reflecting that. Now, the implications for this are quite severe, and they range from purchasing power, that is being reflected in municipal bond credit markets, all the way to the underlying viability. And there's certainly some jurisdictions within the United States that are already thinking in terms of liquidation as well as municipal bankruptcy.
When ranked in terms of the cost of flooding, some of the world's largest cities are worst affected. In 2005, flood losses cost $6 billion a year globally. That's expected to rise to $52 billion a year by 2050. As the climate changes, aspects of our lives are changing too. As investors look to the future, the risks of a warming world are something that they will have to take on board.